YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with XFL Week 4 picks, making my straight-up picks and picks against the spread every single week. Actually started the series in Week 2. Feel like we got a pretty good identity on these teams. You know, sometimes actually every single year in the NFL season, teams early on in the season kind of fool us, think we got them all figured out, and things kind of change. So we'll see if that happens in the XFL. Doesn't look like it, but you never know. Before we get started, we have 2 channels. Please subscribe to both. You'll find a link down in the description and comments for our newer channel, The Goat House Plus. Twitter, Instagram, daily posts, always talking football, talking during the combine right now, and answering questions. So give those a follow. You'll find the link down below. And something new, we have the Goat House podcast out. More coming to it. We're on Spotify and Apple. If you go to our Patreon, there's a link in the description. More NFL content. And included in that is actually the podcast in video form. So pretty interesting. Again, started this in Week 2. It was requested after Week 1. So with my picks straight up, I'm 7 for 8. Only got 1 wrong. And then against the spread, I'm actually 8 for 8. So doing pretty good picking against the spread. Every week, I feel like they're pretty simple. So I've been confident. But now I think it's getting a little tougher looking at this week, and hopefully we do have the true identity. Hopefully no one's fooling us like they do in the NFL with some of these teams. So we'll see here. We'll go on to my picks. The first one is the LA Wildcats versus the New York Guardians. LA kind of, getting rolling now. They got their quarterback, Josh Johnson. Could argue the best player in the league. I think PJ Walker's taken the lead for the MVP so far. But New York, had a good Week 1. We kind of talked about that. I was kind of worried that they may have played the worst team in the league after Week 1. I think they did. Just not enough weapons. Matt McGloin, not playing too well as well. I'm going with LA. Obviously winning because of the better team. Spread pick, 7 points is quite a bit, but they'll win. They'll win by 2 scores. I think 13-14 at least. I really do. Better offense, better defense. Guardians defense ain't too bad, but their offense really makes it harder on them. But I like LA. They should be the much better team here. One of the better players in the league as well. The only downside about LA is maybe their pass defense, even though it really picked it up against DC last week. Causing all those turnovers. So pretty impressive team that could continue to get better. Could see in the title game really. Next game is Seattle versus St. Louis. Dragons versus the Battlehawks, and I like St. Louis. 12 points is a lot. So the straight-up pick, obviously, is St. Louis, but really tough with the spread pick because that's a lot of points. They are much better. I like their defense. I like Ta'amu at quarterback. Cannon of an arm, running a little more mobile than I thought he'd be, so that's pretty impressive. The only downside about this being so many points is that, Seattle, I think they're one of the bottom teams in the league. They run the ball pretty well, decent defense, and then St. Louis likes to run the clock. They like to move the ball. So that could run a lot of clock. There's a chance to run a lot of clock, which gives a limited chance for St. Louis to get up big. So maybe they're only winning by 7 or 10. I just think they're the much, much better team. They're at home. They should win by 2 scores. That's a very tough one, though, because 12 points is a lot. The lines all constantly changing on this, so I'd keep an eye on that. We'll see if that change goes down at all, hopefully. So it's a tough one. Next up, another tough one because we could have arguably the 2 best teams in the league. There's a chance. But so far, the most exciting team, the best team in my opinion, the team I look forward to watching every single week is the Houston Roughnecks with PJ Walker, with the whole team too. They got some Cam Phillips looking really good. They got some weapons. The defense looking good. Coney Ely, Edmund Robinson's pretty solid. I'm going to go with them with the win. Even though Dallas is getting better, very well coached team. They got Landry Jones back since he missed Week 1. They're getting Cam Artis-Payne going in the running game. They really overall got a good running game. Solid defense. Landry Jones hasn't been too impressive though. He'll turn the ball over while PJ Walker's making that big game-winning play. The downside about Houston, they kind of let Tampa score up a little bit. They were up big the week before against St. Louis. They got a little conservative. They let them come back. Dallas can be the better team, perhaps. So can't really let that happen. But I think they're just the better team. And then so I'm going to go with them with the win, -1. I got to go with them with the spread pick too. I think they can win. It's going to be close. I think they can win by the 3 to 7 range, but probably leaning towards 3 around there. I just worry about Landry Jones taking care of the ball, even though he's going to be good, for the most part this season. But they could do some damage running the ball, so we'll see. But Houston's I'm not a fan of a team, but it's my favorite team because they're the most exciting to watch, really. But I don't really have a team where I'm just like die hard. It's kind of hard to do that right now. But going with Houston, but another tough one. That's why I'm undefeated in these against the spread picks. But this is where it's going to get real tough. So we'll see how I do. This one I like, though. We'll see if the spread changes on this. I'm surprised it hasn't gone up. This is what I saw when making these graphics, 2.5 for DC. Tough one last week. It was a disaster, really. Got beat pretty bad. Cardale Jones had an off game, threw a lot of interceptions, turned the ball over, which he's capable of that. But he's also capable of being very, very good in this league. Tampa started to get some points on the board, so they may have some confidence using Flowers more in the right way, being smart with that. And that's a hard guy to stop. So maybe they're figuring it out. Like I said, maybe it's just the early season. Teams trying to figure it out. We don't have the identity. So maybe Tampa could pick it up. But I just think DC's the better team. I think Cardale Jones has a step up game. Picks himself back up here. They're going to win. I think they'll win by at least a touchdown. So I like them with the spread pick. Was surprised it was that low. But Tampa, like I said, could be a little sneaky. Maybe they start to figure something out. But one of the, this week's tough in my opinion, but one of the more ones that we should be confident about. But doing this video every single week, hopefully it can keep the against the spread record alive. I'm hoping. That's why I guess I'm maybe looking forward to watching some of these even more. That's going to do it. Full NFL coverage here. We got 2 channels. We got an Instagram. We got a Twitter. We got a podcast. You'll find the link in the description in the comments for all of that, all kinds of content. We got you covered. That's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.